Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Team Swartz, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing with you the updates to the update in reference to or addressing the all-new Army Combat Fitness Test that was supposed to kick off for record back in 1 October of 2020. Military YouTubers, to include Angry Cops, have addressed this update recently due to the most recent Army Times article basically talking about how the Army Combat Fitness Test has been canceled or no longer a graduation requirement for the next year or so. I actually was the first one to address this back in my first video upon successfully completing the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy back in July. So when I posted my first video on August 4th about the all-new yellow phase, which is the all-new controlled monitoring in dealing with the coronavirus pandemic, if you have not seen that video, be sure to check it out. I'll leave a card right up here for you to go check that out so you're in the know. And you can share that video with anyone who's about to go to Army basic training so they know more or less what to expect. But without further ado, let's get to the bottom of this, and it starts right now. What's up everybody? Welcome back to Team Swartz. Here on this channel, I post a ton of Army basic training, recruiting, and other Army related videos. So if that's what you're into, consider subscribing to this channel, hitting that bell icon, and turning on all notifications so you don't miss anything. I'm Sergeant First Class Swartz, your local New York Army National Guard's full-time recruiter and part-time drill sergeant, here with our recruit sustainment program located in New York City. With that being said, if you happen to be in New York and would like to know how the Army National Guard can help reach your goals in New York, you can start now by shooting me a text to this number on the screen, BOSS, to get started today. Before we get started, I am announcing that anyone who's watching this particular video, if you share this video and upon sharing my video, you put a hashtag Team Swartz in the comment section down below, during my live stream tomorrow on Tuesday, I will announce the winner of my limited edition Team Swartz unit patch. You must live in the United States for me to mail it out to you free of charge. All right, so good luck to anybody who wants to win my limited edition Team Swartz unit patch. So with that being said, Angry Cops and other military YouTubers have posted videos recently in reference to the Army Times article that the Army had decided to eliminate the basic training requirement to pass the all-new Army Combat Fitness Test for all trainees at a basic training, OSA, AIT, or any type of initial entry training to include OCS, so on and so forth, etc., etc. So, with that being said, when I was at the Drill Sergeant Academy, I too had to pass the Army Combat Fitness Test, which surprisingly, I did rather well for my standards. I got a 534-point assessment. However, on 10 June, they decided that the Army Combat Fitness Test, until further notice, will no longer be for record for the entire Army until 31 March of 2022. So, therefore, my Acft scorecard was removed from my graduation packet because it was no longer going to be an assessed event or a requirement for the Drill Sergeant Academy. So, to be honest with you, Angry Cops and other military YouTubers are extremely late to the party in reference to the memorandum that was pushed out by TRADOC Training Command back in April of 2020, essentially not making it a basic training requirement for all trainees for the rest of this calendar year. And I'm going to read a portion of that memorandum, and maybe if I take the initial initiative, I can include that memorandum in a downloadable link from my Google Drive. But nonetheless, I will read just this part of the paragraph, which I referenced in my yellow phase video, which I put a card right up here for you to go peep that, which is the controlled monitoring, all new yellow phase to deal with the coronavirus pandemic. So if you have not seen that, go check that out and share it with somebody you know is going to basic training. All right, so if you can see that, I'm gonna put that right there for you to check out, all right? Because I'm all about proof in the pudding. So on 10 April of 2020, the U.S. Army's Training and Doctrine Command published this memorandum for TRADOC tasking order. So in the memorandum, in paragraph 2, under a mission change, the prerequisite for all soldiers to pass the Army Combat Fitness Test as a graduation requirement in all IMT courses that started on or after 1 October of 2019 or FY20 is suspended until further notice. This includes basic combat training, advanced individual training, one station unit training, otherwise OSUT, including split training option 1 and 2, basic officer leader course, accession and branch or BOLIC, officer candidate school, OCS, warrant officer candidate school, known as WOCS, or the warrant officer basic course, okay, and the direct commission course, DCC. And I'm going to read a portion of paragraph 3 in reference to the execution of these changes. Until further notice, all IMT courses listed in paragraph 2 that started on or after 1 October 2019 will continue to train and administer the ACFT, but not as a graduation requirement. Soldiers in IMT training courses listed in paragraph 2 that don't pass the ACFT or, at that time, the APFT until October 1st of 2020, prior to graduation will still be allowed to move on to follow on schooling or their first unit of assignment without passing the physical fitness requirement until further notice. So with that being said, the requirements for the ACFT for a trainee in a training environment had been suspended until further notice or until the end of this calendar year. What angry cops and other military YouTubers, they recently saw an article I'll post right here on the screen, is basically stating that the Army Combat Fitness Test is no longer a basic training requirement for FY 2021. So starting October 1st of this year through September 31st of next year, trainees at basic training OSA and everything I just previously described from that memorandum is not required to have met that as a graduation requirement. However, in 10 June, I'll put a memorandum here that was posted while I was at the Drill Sergeant Academy, which prompted them to remove my scorecard, is that for the rest of the Army Combat Fitness Test is no longer a requirement to pass until 31 March of 2022, which is months after the basic trainees, as of right now, had that grace period. So that is the difference between the Army as a whole versus a trainee at a basic training environment. However, those of you who are about to go to Army basic training, they will be administering to you the Army Combat Fitness Test. So yes, it is not a graduation requirement, but you are expected to participate and to do your very best on the ACFT. So with that being said, do not sleep on it because it will become mandatory as soon as possible. It could change sooner, but as of right now, you have protection in a training environment up until October 1st of 2021. So with that being said, they will be administering to you, okay? And the new guidance is that you are expected, or your goal, regardless of MOS, because if you don't know, I'll post a card right up here about the ACFT requirements, which are now MOS specific, and the difference between the ACFT versus the old APFT. The new ACFT is age and gender neutral. It is based on your MOS. So normally it would go from gold through black, but if you watch my video that I posted up there in the card, you will understand what I'm talking about. But for the duration of the next year and change, whether you're in a training environment or as a soldier in general, in the Army as a whole, we are basically still going through that transition period before the ACFT is for record. So our goal is to essentially pass at the minimum gold standards at 60%, regardless of your MOS. And I agree with angry cops and other military YouTubers where I feel that as a trainee at a basic training environment, you have no baseline, you have no expectations, you have not been a part of or conducted the Army Physical Fitness Test unless maybe you were in the Future Soldier Program or their RSP where we were still administering the APFT up until 1 October of this year of 2020. But that's no longer a thing, it's dead, we buried it. It's out back, 6 feet under, you're never gonna see it again. However, you need to start training as much as you possibly can leading up to the point that you're leaving for basic training, because you have about 35 to 36 days where you're actually going to be doing and conducting organized physical training at the basic training site. So that being said, again, you are going to be taking the ACFT at basic training. You will not fail. You will pass go, collect $200, and go to your next stage of training or your unit of assignment. But strive to at least pass the gold standards. In my opinion, it's totally achievable to hit the minimum standards at gold at 60%. I agree with the rest of the military YouTubers. A trainee at basic training should not have the ability or option, not that it's an option because it's mandated now, but you have no baseline. You're in basic training. You are working out, forced to work out Monday through Friday in most locations now because of everything that's going on to maximize the effectiveness of the PT program that they have at the training site. You're going to be working out Monday through Saturday, but at minimum, Monday through Friday. So you're forced to do PT every single day. There's no excuses. Zero excuses. The rest of the Army, not so much. On active duty, they would do PT with you in the morning, right? Because it's mandatory PT. But because of the coronavirus and the pandemic and all that good stuff, that has since been suspended and pretty much PT is on your own. So since COVID hit, all gyms have been closed, okay? And because of that and not having proper access to equipment and being forced to do PT on the regular Monday through Friday, it's in the best interest for the Army to continue to transition to when the Army Combat Fitness Test does become for record. So for a trainee in a training environment, there's no excuses. You should be doing it and be obligated to pass. But that's just my personal opinion. Comment down below what you feel that is right for you. Do you think that a trainee in basic training should be obligated to pass the Army Combat Fitness Test? I think so. Other military YouTubers also express the same thing. They're just late to the party in discussing it. I did a video about it, like I said, but I don't like where it's going. And on top of that, there was a recent article, I'll post a picture of it right here, where people have been contacting senators, and it's probably somebody who's gonna lose their job or possibly get discharged or whatever because they can't pass the Army Combat Fitness Test or what have you. But now the senators are crying that maybe the Army Combat Fitness Test is too challenging and that we should reassess through a third party on whether or not the Army Combat Fitness Test is in of itself effective, not detrimental to the military, because I said it in the beginning that initially, based on the restrictions to not having alternative events for certain events, that it's going to force people to get discharged, and that's going to happen. Or the Army Combat Fitness Test being more demanding, it is going to increase the amount of soldiers who fail the ACFT. And, you know, you got to choose. Do you want quality or quantity? Sometimes you can't get both. Yes, I understand that the military always wants quality, right? But it comes with a price. If you're going to increase the standards, you're going to lose a portion of that quantity. Okay, so until you change that culture and people actually take it seriously and actually train for it, because unlike the APFT, you're not going to be able to get off the couch as long as if you had a basic level of physical fitness. You're actually going to have to train for this Army Combat Fitness Test, which will require you to go to the gym and actually utilize equipment. So hopefully the senators don't mess that up for us, because I do feel that the Army Combat Fitness Test is a phenomenal PT test. I think the 2-mile run is a bit much. Because it's lower extremity dominant throughout the entire physical fitness test. It is a good gauge on a soldier's real level of physical fitness in correlation to what you would actually do if you were actually deployed. The Army Physical Fitness Test does not do or depict anything in combat. Oh, great, you can do push-ups, sit-ups, and run 2 miles. Don't forget to put a hashtag Team Swords down in the comment section if you made it this far in the video, and to put yourself in the running for this limited edition Team Swords unit patch. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button if you're not already doing so, and I'll see you in the next video. Hold up, wait a minute, like this video and follow me on social, and while you're at it, go ahead and check out one of my other videos right over here. Just pick one. They're pretty cool. I mean, I liked it. I mean, I was in it. Spoiler alert. I teach you something. Just saying.